When it comes to SUVs, many manufacturers are turning their backs on diesel power and instead they're embracing petrol plug-in hybrid power. Now, over the past few years here at the Caravan Motorhome Club, we've been testing an increasing number of plug-in hybrids, but there's been one plug-in hybrid we have a particular soft spot for. The Porsche Cayenne E-Hybrid has been one of our favourites. So we thought it was about time that we actually showed you around this car and told you exactly why we like it so much. Porsche caused outrage when it launched the Cayenne 2 decades ago, but since then every major sports car brand has followed suit and has an SUV in their ranges. The current Cayenne is quite a handsome thing, and with Porsche deleting all diesel engines from the range, this petrol-electric hybrid is our choice for caravanners. The interior is a wonderful place to be. Now, a lot of manufacturers try and overwhelm you with lots of screens and colours and buttons, but Porsche have just kept things very, very simple. The quality is exceptional, and it's also the design. It's just so nicely laid out in here. As standard, you get an analog rev counter, but either side you get two screens and you can filter them with different displays, and it's so easy to use with the little controls on the steering wheel. Now, in the centre of the dashboard, you get this large touchscreen as standard, and it has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, but the actual system itself is really easy to use. I think this is on par with BMW's iDrive for simplicity. Down in the centre of the console, you've got a touch-sensitive area, so when the car is on, all of these controls are illuminated, but when the ignition is switched off, all the lights disappear, and it's just a lovely, pure panel. The Cayenne comes well equipped as standard. You get LED headlights, dual zone climate control, leather seats, and front and rear parking sensors. But be aware of the options list, because Porsche will charge you heavily for those desirable fixtures and fittings. This particular car is the Platinum Edition, and it's a good model to go for. It was newly introduced in 2022, and it factors in a lot of desirable features, such as aniline leather seats, crayon coloured seatbelts, black exterior details, and fantastic 21-inch alloy wheels. In the back, and the first thing to mention is quite a lot of plug-in hybrid premium SUVs, they come with 7 seats as standard, but the Cayenne is a strict 5-seater. I'm just over 5'10", I've got a decent amount of knee room. Headroom is okay. I do think though, if you are about 6 foot, you might struggle. There's a decent amount of practicality back here as well. Now these seat backs, they can recline and you can pull them forward. These seats also slide backwards and forwards, so if you do need a bit more space in the boot, you can slide these forwards, or if you want more knee room, you can slide them all the way back. There's a 12-volt socket in the centre, along with 2 USB-C charging ports, and yes, the quality again is translated in the back. This feels a seriously expensive car back here. Round at the boot, and Porsche fits an electric tailgate as standard. And once the tailgate has risen, it reveals a pretty large boot actually. It's bigger than a BMW X5 hybrids. There's plenty of little storage places as well. You get 40, 20, 40 split folding rear seats. Now, if you want a tow bar, of course you do, Porsche fits an electronically deployable one, and you just operate it with these little buttons on the side of the boot. And Porsche charges £858 for the privilege. Whilst this boot is spacious and it offers a lot of practicality, there is one elephant in the room here, and that's these bags here. Now, these are the charging cables. As standard, Porsche gives you a charging cable that's suitable for a 3-pin socket, but they charge you extra for a Type 2 charger, so a cable to actually fit into your home wall box or public on-street charger. But there's nowhere to actually store these cables. So if you do intend to drive your Cayenne with your cables in the boot, that's the level of space that you've got. So what's the Porsche Cayenne E-Hybrid like to drive then? Well, firstly, some stats. Under the bonnet is a 3-litre V6 petrol engine, there's an electric motor and a 14 kilowatt-hour battery. Altogether, this car develops over 455 brake horsepower, 700 newton meters of torque, and it from 0 to 62 miles an hour in under 5 seconds. And yet, despite all of that, this car has got a claimed pure electric driving range of up to 27 miles. The CO2 is very low and it's fantastic on company car tax as well. Now, if you've got over 450 brake horsepower, performance is going to be very impressive, and it certainly is in the case of the E-Hybrid. I'm currently in the hybrid mode, but if I just turn this little knob on the steering wheel to Sport and Sport Plus, the engine and the gearbox are set into their highest, most reactive setting, and you absolutely fly towards the horizon. But of course, this is a plug-in hybrid. You also want to be able to turn everything down and enjoy the electric running, where you can put the car into e-power mode, and then you've got 27 miles of pure electric range claimed. I actually think in normal everyday running that's between 20 and 22, but if you put the car into hybrid, well, the car automatically flits between petrol and electric power. Now, if you dive into the touchscreen, you can even play with all the different parameters of the car even more. In hybrid mode, you can choose from 3 different settings. Hybrid auto, so the car automatically chooses the best power source. You've got e-hold and e-charge. E-hold locks the range in the battery, so you can use your electric range at another time, for example, or you can put the car into e-charge, and then that petrol engine is not only powering the car, but it's also powering the battery. Now, once you've got the car completely configured to the way you want it, you will seriously enjoy driving this car. Now, this plug-in hybrid version of the Cayenne is a bit heavy. I mean, it tips the scales at around 2.3 tons, but for a big plug-in hybrid, this Cayenne is simply the best in class. I know of no other big plug-in hybrid SUV that drives like this does. The reasons for that? Well, the body control is simply sublime. Yes, this is a heavy car, but the Cayenne feels so tied down. It's amazing, really. But it's not just that, it's the steering. Now, Porsches are well known for having beautiful steering. And whilst some of the delicacy, some of the bite to the steering is lost compared to the standard petrol versions, for a plug-in hybrid, the level of steering feel and reaction is seriously, seriously impressive. Now, if there is something that I don't like about the E-Hybrid, it's the brake pedal. Just like any other plug-in hybrid, you've got regenerative braking in this. So it means that when you're actually putting your foot on the brake pedal, you don't get such a consistent feel like you would do in a normal petrol SUV. It's by no means a massive problem. It's just something that dents an otherwise near flawless driving experience. A lot of tow cars feel as though they're good at one thing, which is towing, but this Cayenne E-Hybrid, well, it's good when you're towing, it's good when you are in the mood to actually let your hair down and have a bit of fun, and it's also fantastic when you just want to drive normally and take the kids to school or just go to the shops. This Cayenne E-Hybrid pretty much ticks every single box. Perhaps the biggest surprise is how the Cayenne tows, as all of the car's outstanding characteristics when driving solo are translated when hitched. Aside from the very occasional pull on our test route, the Cayenne really takes control of the caravan, almost giving the impression of it not towing anything at all. Despite the combined V6 and electric motor's considerable might, it's easy to modulate the car's power delivery for smooth progress, and the petrol-electric setup also means progress is swift, even up steep inclines. If you've been paying attention to the Caravan and Motorhome Club Towcar of the Year awards for the past couple of years or so, you'll know that we are big fans of this Porsche Cayenne E-Hybrid, and it's easy to see why. Now, I can't think of another car that is quite so fun to drive, has quite such a luxurious interior, and offers the kind of low running costs because of the plug-in hybrid system. If you need an SUV that packages all of those things up and is also a fantastic tow car, you really can't do better than the Porsche Cayenne E-Hybrid.